The edit is the most man's looking for any excuse to keep playing the game and not actually have to walk away. This was like last week, so I mean, people are probably already know it. But I, being stubborn, adhere to my stream schedule of no, we're not talking about FF14 news or developments or anything about the game until Saturdays. What crime did YoshiP commit now? I'm just gonna read this, then give my input. This is one that I'm not gonna read 5 words, give response. I'm just gonna read what he says because about 2% of it I agree with and I understand where he's coming from. We don't need them anymore. Throw them away. No one needs the old veterans anymore. We have their money, or so it feels. I have played since shortly before Heaven's Word and spent much more time in the game than I should have. I have played every possible content back in those days when you had to level all jobs for cross skill and learn what that does. My biggest passion was PvP, and I was so damn happy when we got the feast. Okay, I'm gonna stop real quick. I know I just said I wouldn't. The feast is like the seasonal, like you're the. Hey, so because Past Me sucks at explaining, the feast is FF14's 4v4 role restricted sweaty PvP mode from the past that kind of went away. Hope that helps clear it up just a little bit because I sucked at explaining this when I was actually on stream, but bye. I spent even more time in the game, practiced, worked on my skill as a healer. Scholar was the only healer that I had at max level, and they were not that great in the first seasons of the feast. Yet I kept going, from getting stomped to out healing, and then rank 1 white mage, and in the end earned my top 100 lone wolf eagle beak set. I want to go look what this is real quick. Hold on. So this is the armor that he's talking about. This is the armor that was super hard to get back in the day. I have worn it ever since because I have worked so hard for it. Sure, I switched every now and then, but never could wear other stuff for long simply because of how much I worked for the set. And now it appears that the old ranked rewards are coming back as replicas, if translations of the live letter are true. That would be the last straw for me. The game has changed so much over time. There are so many features many don't even know existed and are now lost, like that glamour mog station shout out button locked 18 menus deep in your in-room. I still held on. I never unsubbed, but I don't play all that much currently due to time. Seems I needed to point that out. If this truly is happening, then that's pretty much it for me. As someone supporting FF14 for a bit over 10 years, this feels like I'm being robbed of my greatest accomplishment that I ever achieved in the game. For now, this is just a Discord translation from the live letter, and I know how many will dismiss what I say, but to me, this mattered. If it comes true, I am gone. If YoshiP should read this, yeah, as if that would happen. How many times can you go back on your word before your word means nothing? Have a good day. And then there's an edit. The edit killed me. The edit is the most man's looking for any excuse to keep playing the game and not actually have to walk away. I just was told that the replicas might not be dyeable, as it was with the Garo replicas. If that's the case, I can live with it, I suppose. I understand the exclusivity thing. I understand that you want to feel special. I understand that you busted your ass. Much like I busted my ass in Counter-Strike Go to get to the rank I was in when I used to be a bit of a Counter-Strike fiend. I recognize that part. I get it. I understand it. I dumped hundreds of hours into CSGO to get to where I was. I dumped thousands of hours into a bunch of other games. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2. I beat Demon Souls 1 13, 14 times to get as proficient as I could at those games. I get it. I understand the accomplishment thing. I get it in an MMO. I put a bunch of time in RuneScape so I could get something specifically to look a certain way. I dumped 2 weeks uninterrupted of my time into the Yokai Watch event to grind out every single thing for every single mount that event has. It took me over 200 fates to get what I needed there. It took me a long ass time. I get it. That might not be the same as grinding the PvP out and getting that proficient at it, but that's why I mentioned Counter-Strike. I spent a lot of time to get to where I was in Counter-Strike. I get it. However, these sets are old. Are they still special? Yes. Should you still feel pride that you got them? Yeah. Your accomplishment is still an accomplishment. What loses me is this is a game that treats exclusivity as it should be, which is, oh, you are on for the Christmas event. Well, you had 4 weeks. Too bad. Well, can't I get it again? Yeah. Next year. So I just do the event. No. Next year there'll be a new reward. If you want the old one though, go on the Mog station and give us $5. Give us $6. Give us $12. Whatever it is. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So I can at least get it. The other part, he's told, like, he's told they're coming back as replicas. I feel like it being a replica makes yours even specialer. Because now it's not, oh my God, that's the armor that no one ever has on. It's, oh my God, you have an original set. You're not like these other people that had to come back and get it because the developer was like, here you go, guys. Just in case you weren't here. You got the OG armor. You got an original Shelby Cobra. For people that don't know what that is, even if you don't know cars, you probably know what a Shelby Cobra is. It is one of the most iconic racing vehicles. If you have an original of these and you're not one of the millions of other people that have bought body kits to make other cars look like this, you're the coolest dude. Yeah, agreed on the replica versus the OG set point. Yeah, I think there being replicas now makes yours more important. I think it like raises your property value on it. And being this upset is the most, you're putting your effort over the exclusivity of the item and the perception of the exclusivity of the item. You're madder about the effort you had to put in to get it versus the replicas even being available. It sounds like, it doesn't sound like you're mad that yours isn't special anymore. It sounds like I'm upset that I put in all this work and now it's just coming back. When it's not, because the point doesn't read like, I'm mad replicas are here. This is stupid. I got mine. It's original. It was supposed to be special for me. You like the post says yes, it's special for me. But a lot of it feels like it's focused on, I put in this time. I grinded this out. I did this thing. Like, yeah, your work is still there. That is not taken from you at all. In fact. At all. I would again argue it is probably elevated that you got it originally, that you were in the game that early and put in all the work. I got my butterfly knife in Counter-Strike before Gabe Newell decided to destroy the market and make it easy to trade up for knives. Hey, how'd you get your butterfly knife, man? That thing's cool. Yeah, I traded up a bunch of stuff. How'd you get yours? Second year the game was out. Got super lucky. That one's cooler. I'm sorry. That one's cooler. That one's cooler than I brought 800 gloves and I traded up to it. Me getting the Christmas outfits, from being there, I feel like it's more interesting and engaging as a player at a social level that I was there and I got it. And I get to say, you had to be at the thing. You had to be there. But you can go get it at the Mog station. Yeah, I do like the little things. The little things Valve did with TF2 items. Ones acquired before the crafting system was added have a prefix of vintage. So my snipers are running around with vintage Girate. You got vintage piss. Which in context is horrifying and hilarious in equal measure. No, that's really good. But it is that. I feel like this frustration is explicitly at the misunderstanding that your accomplishment is being threatened. Your accomplishment's not being threatened. This is the same, and maybe I'm off the mark here. It is the same misassociation of this thing I used to enjoy is now tainted because of new context from whoever it came from. Where it's like Justin Roiland is a very questionable person from everything that we've heard and has came out. Are the first 3 seasons of Rick and Morty still like damn solid? I would say yeah. They're still pretty damn solid. They're still pretty damn like interesting. But in the way that it's Rick and Morty's been taken from me. You can still enjoy the memories and time you had with those first few seasons of Rick and Morty. You still have your memories of it. You still have how it impacted you as a person and developmentally. Placement of where your irritation needs to land is self-destructive, if that makes sense. The placement of this game is taking away my accomplishment is attacking something that you enjoy. You're almost Ouroboros-ing your own volatility, where it's thing I enjoy. I'm upset about something that is not even the largest part of the thing I enjoy, but now this whole thing is making me mad when this is the part I'm like, I don't care for that part. 8th season was really good. I want to get back to Rick and Morty at some point because it is one of those shows where it's the slow burn of a plot developing had me hooked. Like, I really wanted to see where things were going. Yeah, it's clear misperception on behalf of the OP that their achievement is being devalued by an official source, which it's not the case. It's not. Like this person said, the end of that first response, nobody can really take away your accomplishment. People are going to mock you for it, but you have the right to be mad. Just know it's just a glamour. One you got to enjoy exclusively for many years. No, and this is correct. No one can take away your accomplishment. And this isn't taking away your accomplishment. What it sounds like, even to extrapolate it out further, is you're in Limsa and now it's going to be a little harder for you to be the center of attention. However, when you become that center of attention and people go, oh shit, you got the original, it's even stronger and it has more weight behind it. It means more because now you're even more of a special veteran in this game. While I agree that it robs people of what was advertised as a unique reward that few would ever have, I strongly believe that it should never have been a unique reward like that. The whole top 100 thing put people off PvP because they knew there wasn't much of a chance. This is the truest thing in this thread, I feel like, because you're not getting top 100 unless you're going to Discords and spending money. Even if you did PvP all day and won a lot of matches, it was hopeless really. And in this casual game, going all day without eating or sleeping properly isn't exactly the norm. But even doing that wasn't enough to get the top 100. So the whole time that went on, I felt robbed of these rewards as I boycotted the concept of it, waiting for the day SC saw sense. Saw sense is a weird way to say it. Yeah, saw sense and made the systems we have now. I understand it doesn't feel good, but consider this. Most of the rest of the game is no different. You work really hard to get that Savage mount, progging up through the floors, only for a Sprout to unsync it a few years later and get it without effort. You farm extremes, doing all those mechanics 99 plus times when they still require relative precision, only for someone to unsync it without thinking with their FC a few years later with a buffed drop rate. You work really hard to get some other mounts and minions just for Occult Crescent to hand them out like candy, not to mention the mounts sold for Moogle tomes. How I deal with all my work going to waste is that I just hold that moment in time that it happened. To me, a title like that means something. See, this is the perspective you should have. It's you got it the hard way. I think this is the same attitude that happens on my TikTok comments whenever I put up a minion guide, where I put up the minion guide and I don't mention you can buy it on the market board because that's not the point. Not everybody wants to buy it on the market board. I don't. I hate achievements, but I don't want to go buy a minion on a market board. I'd rather go do it myself. I'd rather go up to Western Coerthas Highlands into that random ice pond and fish for 7 hours. According to some people in my comments, it took them like an absurd amount of time to get the little fishing bucket minion. I got it within like 10 minutes. I got lucky, I guess, apparently. But it's doing it. It's the action of actually putting the effort in and obtaining it yourself. But every single comment is either, oh my God, fucking thank you. This took me so long. How'd you get it in less than 10 minutes? Fuck you. Or you can like buy it on the market board for 5 gil. It's like, okay, good. You can go to the market board, dude. This video is not for you. This video is not for you. If you want to optimize the fun out of your game, go right ahead. Go right ahead. And they go, why am I never satisfied with games? I'm going to continue to play Momodora without using any special abilities. I'm going to continue to play Monster Hunter with just the dual blades. I'm never going to upgrade them because this one looks the coolest. I already got the minion. Why you make this video? I literally have gotten comments like that, and it is the most psychotic thing. Continuing. To me, a title like that means something. Even if people doing it now don't see a meaning in it because they just unsynced it or get it handed to them by a Moogle, they are stories I can tell. I also have new rewards / meaningful ways by the time that happens. That's the biggest thing. I have stories I can tell. And if someone goes, how'd you get that? I can tell them how. And then end it off with, oh, or you can just go to the market board, but that's less fun. And then half the time people seem to just go fish and go get it or go do whatever you got to do to go find the thing. I don't see them go to the market board when people have asked me because a lot of people that play FF14 and play games don't optimize the fun out of it. Being upset that something that is not impacting your accomplishment at all is somehow stealing the accomplishment, you gotta reevaluate. You gotta breathe, you gotta calm down and stop thinking that FF14's development is out to ruin your experience and ruin your fun. This comment of like, how many times will you go back on your word before your word means nothing? And then adding in the, if YoshiP should read this, yeah, as if that would happen. The like, yeah, he would never read my comment. But how come you keep lying to me, YoshiP? How come you keep lying to all of us? It's like, he's not lying to you. He's not lying to, he doesn't know you specifically exist. He does not, the dev team does not cater to you specifically. They don't cater to players like you specifically. They don't cater to players like me specifically. They don't cater to players like Azim's specifically. And he's a really popular streamer. Or Arthur's. They don't. They cater to the analytics they have and a little bit of the vocal crowd online. But mostly analytics. There's this parasocial attachment to the dev team into the game that it's like, bro, you gotta breathe. You know how mad I'd be at, whoa, I almost said fur affinity. I almost said fur affinity. I wanted to say Wild Assault. How mad I would be at Wild Assault if I was this attached to it. And that game was so much fun. I was talking about that game like crazy of how I was like, oh, this is a third person Battlefield-esque game that gets it. And now it's pretty much dead. And that sucks. But it happens. If this was my attitude towards the game, like, why are they fucking with me? Come on. Still's got anthro on the brain. Moving on from angry forums, GeoGuessr Eorzea exists, finally.